It's so crazy because the real ID, you're like, my ID is a real ID. It's like, it's not the real ID.
It's not
though.
the one. It's not the one you're going to
real
need.
ID.
Yeah. So with that, all 50 states plus the territories, and territories mean Puerto Rico, Guam, St. Thomas, St. Croix, St. John, like
Hawaii,
all of those
Puerto
places. I mean,
Rico.
technically Hawaii is one of the 50 states, but
Yeah.
But the
Everywhere.
territories all are going to require a real ID, and all are going to have to issue real IDs to their citizens.
Yes, and that's actually a great transition because you don't automatically qualify for a real ID. So it's not like, oh, my ID expires.
Yes.
When I go in and renew, I'll get the new one that's the real ID.
Nope.
No. This is a different form of identification. So it's kind of like that mid-level in between which you need to verify your state identification and what you need to verify like a U.S. passport verification.
Exactly.
So it's not going to be as intense as the passport where you need to provide all of those documents, but you will need to provide extra documentation other than just like a bill with your ID, with your address on it. So it is an extra layer of documentation, and it's also an additional price than just your regular ID. So
how you
it's
gonna
separate.
charge me for something you making me get?
Hey y'all.
Hey y'all, hey. Welcome to another episode of Travel
Fly Sexy.
I'm your co-host Natasha Terrell, owner of 𝗏𝒂𝒗𝒆𝒍 International.
And I'm your co-host Sincerely Jasmine, founder of Boss Babes Love Brunch.
Period. Okay, guys. If you're not aware, the Real ID Act is coming. It's coming in hot, and they say it's really finally coming next year, 2025.
They said it's official.
They said it's official. So we are using this episode to educate you because we don't want you to end up at the airport and get turned away.
And not be on vacation.
Right?
Because you don't got the right ID.
Because we need you to be outside. We tell you every week, go outside. But this episode is going to be all about breaking down the Real ID Act, what you need, what you can expect, why it's happening, and all the in-betweens. All right? So stick around if you are still trying to figure out what the heck is this? And how does it impact me? Your ladies got you today. But before we jump into all of that, a little bit of gotta smell from our inbox to yours. What is going on in the world of travel, Jazz?
Oh, Lord. It's always something.
Oh, Jesus.
So this one was actually funny. I guess from a viewer's perspective, probably not as much for the travelers that day, now that I think about it. But anyway, a Frontier pilot was arrested. Literally taken off of the plane
in
handcuffs and not into the airport, onto the tarmac and into the police car. So apparently he had an active warrant, and this resulted in obviously the flight being canceled because we have no pilot now.
Dang, that part I did not even consider.
Yeah.
Wow. I just saw, dang, the pilot got arrested. Didn't even think.
Yeah.
Oh, man, this wasn't even first officer. This was the pilot.
It was the pilot. Yeah.
Oh, man.
Keep your personal business at home, sir.
Well, not even that.
I'm trying to go on vacation or home, wherever I'm trying to go.
I think the biggest thing for me is people really underestimate how much travel really allows every single entity to track where you are at all times. Because, I can just remember, this is crazy, but I'm going to tell y'all, because it really can impact you on various levels. Like, if you owe taxes, you better be careful when you're trying to travel because they will find you. They know where you're going to be. And they will stop you in the airport, just like they did this pilot. But nevertheless, I was coming back from travel at the end of, this was like the end of 2022. I had been traveling galore. So within those 6 weeks, I probably got my passport stamped 6-7 times.
Oh, wow.
Because the trip I was coming back from was when I was in Ecuador. And when I was in Ecuador, I was traveling to Ecuador. Then in Ecuador, I was traveling through the Galapagos Islands. And each time you're getting stamped.
Yeah.
So it looks like I'm on a mission to the government. Yeah. Yes. So when I get back into the United States, this is the first time this ever happened to me. I get flagged when I'm trying to just go through, my normal global entry process. You go up to the machine, you smile, you nod, you go on. I smiled, I nodded, and it said, "See, officer." And I was like, okay. I go up to him. He like, "Yep, come with me." I'm like, "Oh, baby, what? Oh, my God. Lord Jesus." So immediately I think, "Oh, my gosh, I forgot to pay my taxes this year. Wait, hold on." I'm thinking I'm about to get booked.
Oh, my God.
Long and behold, it was just, they were just like making sure that I wasn't on the weird stuff because my
The back and
passport
forth
was showing I was very active in South America.
Yeah, it looked like you
and they
moving
were like,
around.
"What's happening?" So that made me, that gave me the realization that like,
They can
know
see everything.
They know what's what. They know
Yeah.
everything, every move, everything you're making. You talk about Big Brother. Big Brother is watching.
Yes, I mean, global entry in itself is literally the depiction of, we got you.
Yeah, we got you.
We know who you are.
Yes. So as much as we tell you, get your global entry.
Yeah.
If you into the weird stuff, you don't just
give
stand in a
them-
regular line.
Don't give them that picture and them thumbprints if you if you got active warrant like the pilot. Sir.
How is you the pilot? Like, you of
How
all
did you come to work
people.
today knowing that you had an active warrant out? So you're just a felon who just be flying. Okay.
But you of all people, Mr. Pilot.
Please.
You know how this works.
And now I'm just like, Frontier, did y'all do a background check?
And the answer is likely not.
Frontier, who is this pilot? Do y'all know him?
Do y'all have his real name?
It's
Are
giving
you
Soul
sure?
Plane.
Are you
It's
sure
giving
this
Soul
is his
Plane.
real name?
Like, I got my papers. I'm good. Where'd you get them from?
Are they notarized?
Like, let me see. And do they come with active warrants? Because we just take the pilot license. We don't need active warrants.
That's
with it.
insane.
I'm
Like,
just trying to go on vacation or home. I really don't care about what you got going on.
just think the level of crazy that is.
Jeez. Yeah,
And
I would have been
see?
so pissed.
And this is why they're making us get these real IDs.
Yeah.
Because
Because we didn't know who you really is.
no,
okay?
but for real though. Like,
who are you for real?
This is really why
That's so true.
that we have to
Because
up
he
the
don't need to be
security
flying.
of our identification process.
Yeah.
Because apparently you can forge whatever you're going to forge to be a pilot with warrants.
Crazy.
So with that said,
Free him, though.
free him. Do he get his job back? Does he still have a job? Like, where are we in the process?
I just said free him. He don't need to be flying no more. No more planes. He could be on the plane, just not driving it.
That is so wild. Oh, poor passengers. Because, like, we already know that people is on
And
strike.
now we can't
There's
go
already
till tomorrow.
a shortage
like there's
of
no backup pilot right
employees.
now. It's already hard enough to find like backup flight attendant, like staff. Yeah, no,
Yeah, that was a bad day for many people.
definitely, including him. Starting with him.
Starting with him. But let's jump into the Real ID Act because apparently it's finally coming. And the reason I say apparently is because if you know anything about this, you actually know that this was announced in 2008. Okay, not 18. 2008. And I'm about to age myself, but I graduated high school in 2008. So therefore, they have been pushing this back for a long time.
Yeah.
Nevertheless, it was enacted based on the circumstances of 9/11 and realizing that we need a better security or way of identifying people when they're going throughout the airports.
Yeah.
It has taken this long because, as you probably know, each state has their own laws, their own ways of doing things, and their own ways of issuing IDs, even though they're applicable around the country. So that's why it's taken so long. But nevertheless, as of today, it says that the Real ID Act will go into effect May 7th, 2025. And of course, they decided to choose my birthday
I'm like, wait, that sounds familiar.
to make this a thing. So we gonna see. But that's fine. That makes me remember the date easier.
That's your girls of Travel Fly Sexy.
Before we jump into today's episode, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to us on YouTube and listen wherever you get your podcasts.
And make sure that you're following us on Instagram and TikTok at Travel Fly Sexy.
And of course, if you have a product or service that you'd like to see featured on an upcoming episode of Travel Fly Sexy, shoot us an email at info@travelflysexy.com.
Now let's get back into the episode.
So with that said, on that day, Americans will be required to carry a real ID for domestic travel.
Yes.
That is the biggest part of this.
Yes.
Because right now you're like, your driver's license, your regular ID, whatever, your passport, whatever, it works. But come May 7th next year,
you need the real ID. Absolutely. And I think it even, like you said, it still supersedes the passport.
I mean, you can use your passport, and we'll talk about it a little bit later. Your passport is an option alternative because you obviously have to go through mad layers of security
to get your passport.
Right. But the more important part is currently for domestic travel, we don't necessarily have to bring our passport to the airport.
No.
So we don't.
Yeah, exactly.
But in this instance, if you are at the airport without your passport
because you're going have a passport,
or if you don't have
and
one,
you just travel domestically.
Yeah, and you don't have this real ID and you want to go from Philly to Miami, you can't go. Like straight up can't go.
That's crazy.
So unless you have this. So yeah. May 7th, 2025 is when they're going to start checking.
Yes.
So be prepared in advance.
So how to tell if you have one?
Right.
So the new IDs are going to have a star.
Yeah. And it's like,
or a star cutout, which is like a punch of a star on it. And that's how you're going to know that it's compliant with the current Real ID Act.
And it's like, and the stars are varying because again, like
every state's different.
The state to state laws is like really making this a thing.
Yeah.
So some of the stars are full stars. Some of them are like an outline of a star. I even saw some, and I think it probably was for California, where it was like the bear is like on California's flag. The bear had a star in it, and that still counted. So you're basically just looking for the star to know that it's a real ID.
That's so American.
This is layered. That's what I'm saying. Like we can't just
not
be
you're going to try to take
consistent.
the stars and put them on each ID.
We can't just be consistent. We gotta flex, I suppose. Everybody got their own. But anyway, the star, it's like the Star of David. If you are familiar, it's giving that. That's what you're looking for. If the ID is missing a star, or if the ID says federal limits apply, because it will actually say those three words, federal limits apply, then that is your indication that it is not a real ID.
It's a no-go.
So go ahead while you listening to this, check your ID, see if it has a star on it, or see if it says federal limits will apply, and then you can make informed decisions on what to do next.
Yeah. It's so crazy because the real ID, you're like, my ID is a real ID. It's like, it's not the real ID.
It's not
though.
the one. It's not the one you're going to need.
ID.
Yeah. So with that, all 50 states plus the territories, and territories mean Puerto Rico, Guam, St. Thomas, St. Croix, St. John, like Hawaii, all of those places. I mean, technically Hawaii is one of the 50 states, but the
everywhere.
territories all are going to require a real ID, and all are going to have to issue real IDs to their citizens.
Yes, and that's actually a great transition because you don't automatically qualify for a real ID. So it's not like, oh, my ID expires. Yes. When I go in and renew, I'll get the new one that's the real ID.
Nope.
No. This is a different form of identification. So it's kind of like that mid-level in between which you need to verify your state identification and what you need to verify like a U.S. passport verification.
Exactly.
So it's not going to be as intense as the passport where you need to provide all of those documents, but you will need to provide extra documentation other than just like a bill with your ID, with your address on it. So it is an extra layer of documentation, and it's also an additional price than just your regular ID. So
how you
it's
gonna
separate.
Charge me for something you making me get?
It's completely separate. It's a completely different card. You are going to still need your driver's license. You're still going to need your passport, and this is going to be something that you can get in between.
Ciao.
Yep.
Charging me for something you making me get is crazy.
Yeah.
But I will say the real ID. Even though it's saying real ID, it also is real driver's license too. So you will
Oh.
have a driver's
good to
license.
know.
Yes.
Okay, 'cause I
Your
was about
driver's
to-
license can have the star on it, and your driver's license can
Perfect.
count as a real ID.
Okay.
Yes. So I did want to clarify that because I know that could be confusion by the name of
Yeah, that's
the
what I was about to
title.
say. Now for the drivers, not me. We always gonna have to get all these. I was about to flex, but never mind.
No. So it's a real ID, but you can also replace your driver's license
with a real driver's
with a real driver's license, right? Exactly. Child, too much. And also, if you're not sure if your ID is compliant, the Department of Homeland Security has like a quiz on their website so that you can go through the prompts and determine if your
current ID is applicable or if you need to get the real ID.
But I just told you, if it says federal limits apply,
You know, people don't
and it don't
like
got a
to
star,
read.
then it's not the one. So
It's a lot of words on them IDs. People are not going to find federal limits apply.
Fair enough.
It's words on the back. Just go on the website and do the quiz because it's too risky.
that's fair, yes. Because I don't want you to get turned away
We know they don't be reading
at
like
the airport,
that.
and then you be like, "Well, 𝗓𝗏 said, no, baby, no."
And then they might see federal limits. And just
Then they get
go do the
scared.
quiz. Just go do the quiz.
Go do the quiz. We'll drop it in the show notes so that you have it. Because, child, don't
Yeah.
come looking for me.
I'm going to do the quiz. So next is when the Real ID Act is enacted, passengers will not be allowed through TSA with a non-compliant ID.
Yeah.
So just like we're saying, you will be turned away.
You will be turned away.
Which is unfortunate because it's like, but they told us since what, 08. You know, I mean, even post-pandemic, it's been a thing where we have been anticipating this act being like really initiated.
And the signage is all throughout
it's
the
been
airports.
signage throughout all of the airports with false dates, apparently. But
They keep changing it.
they have let us know that this is happening. It's coming. So they're going to turn you away. They're not going to be like, oh, well, next time when you come back. No, it's not one of those things. It's not like how you can maybe get away with your local police and be like, oh, my driver's license expired last week. But, or even with the ID, sometimes
Shout
you go
out
to the bar and
Philly
you're like,
cops, because y'all be looking
you're
out.
like, I know my ID is 6 months old, but it's me, right? And they're just like, all right, go ahead. It's not
not
gonna
that.
work.
It's not giving
gonna
that.
work. It's not going to work.
Your face card is not, it's going to decline that
gonna
day.
Decline. They're looking for the star. If it don't have the star and it's not real, you
It
cannot
ain't going to
come.
work, baby.
So yeah, that's the biggest thing of making sure that your ID is either applicable or that you're getting this application process started before this date.
Yeah. And if you don't upgrade your ID, which I got to check mine, guys, because I ain't going to
Yeah, I'm gonna check
I
mine after
just
this.
got a new ID this year, so that's just a lot. And then you want to charge me, so we going to see. But if you don't update or upgrade your ID, then you can, as we mentioned, still use your passport as your means of transportation, or it's not transportation, your means of identification when traveling domestically. And you can also use other TSA approved forms of ID. I know they have various, like there's a long list. So again, we'll put it in the show notes. But there are other approved ways that you can identify yourself. But again, I mean, if you're definitely going to be traveling domestically, I suppose do your due diligence. But because I know most of my travels is just, I need a passport anyway. I'm going to wait it out as best I can, I guess. I am, because the
not too long,
DMV is
'cause-
stressful. The DMV is stressful. I'm going to look, actually, because I didn't look to see if I can do it online.
Yeah, that
Because you know how you can
now
renew
you can renew
your
passport
license
and
or
everything
your IDs online.
Yep,
And then just go to the DMV to do your camera or to do your photo.
that might be the case for
I apologize because I didn't do my due diligence and looking
Yeah,
that
that's
up.
important actually, because even just thinking about the extra documentation, I'm like, is that something you can send in or upload? Yeah, we'll put the link in the show notes for sure.
Yeah, because
that's important.
Think about that.
Next, we have travelers who are under 18 do not need to provide ID when traveling with a companion. So if you're a family and you're traveling, a family of two traveling with two kids, you don't have to have the real ID domestically.
Right.
Now, internationally, everybody need a passport.
Right. Everybody, all the babies.
If you are leaving, all the babies, newborns, everybody. But if you're traveling domestically and you are a family, I do believe you have to be blood related for this to be applicable, or maybe on the same travel itinerary. But you can travel with children under 18 without this real ID.
Yeah. At this juncture, the babies is winning the last few weeks.
That's what I was thinking. I'm like,
first they got their global entry.
Why am I not 18 or under?
now they don't need no ID. Now, granted, they technically hadn't need an ID for a little while, but still.
But this is just reassurance that they can still make their way. You just can't.
You cannot. Sorry. Additionally to that, you still need a real ID, even if you have TSA pre-checked or global entry.
Yep.
Okay. So just because you have those services, those are additional benefits to your airport experience, but you do still need to show valid identification.
Exactly.
Especially for pre-check, again, because we know that is your security process as you're leaving. So if you're going across the state, country, whatever, that's your first line of defense. So you definitely need to be able to provide a real ID or a valid passport, as we just discussed.
Yeah, so all that to say, you cannot get into the airport with your regular IDs no more after May 7th, 2025. Don't even bring them regular. If it's not a real ID, don't bring it. Just leave it at home.
Yeah.
You might could use it in destination.
Fun fact, I've been actually using my passport as my ID for
welcome to my world.
The last several my ID in the airport, not in the bar, Jasmine. But that is because my passport still has my maiden name.
Oh yeah.
And all of my airline accounts and everything still has my maiden name. I have not switched over. But the only thing that is switched over is my ID. So even when I'm just taking my little trip to Miami, I'm still showing up with my passport because it's going to be discrepant with all of my other stuff. So I know I got to sit down and really do all of that, and I'm not looking forward to it. And the ID only happened because my ID was expired, and I was like, all right, well, I got to renew it anyway.
Well, now's a good time because you do the passport, real ID.
This is a lot.
It is.
I actually have a lot to do
once.
Because if you were listening a few episodes back, you also know I'm down to the last page of my passport.
Yeah, that's what I'm like. This passport, everything just needs the new name.
This is too much.
All the cards, everything. That is a lot.
You know what? I actually did just hear about a website that potentially does all this for you.
Perhaps.
Called ms2mrs.com. If anyone needs it. I haven't explored it yet, but somebody told me
that's actually a good
business model.
Niche.
Yes, because it's me.
Yeah.
I am not sitting down.
Yeah, and that's anyone having to change anything. It's like I don't even want to change. Like when you move, I still have my old address. I've been in my home for 4 years, and there's still bills that go to random other addresses, which I usually get digital e-bills, so it's fine. But yeah, it's a lot to do all that, and sometimes you just forget. You got to update every account. Yeah.
Because we already doing too many things. Yeah. Now I have to change my life.
Well, Real ID is giving you a reason to update everything.
I guess. But then they want to charge me.
Yes.
Because the last thing that you guys should know is that the cost of the Real ID ranges, depending on your state, from as low as $10, but as high as $85.
Yes.
And that is, again, depending on your state, but considering the price of an ID or driver's license ranges between $24 to $30, baby.
Yeah.
I'm paying you for something you're requiring me to do.
And it took y'all so long to do it. Do it more efficiently, but whatever. Who am I? Just a citizen.
Well, I suppose I'm only allowing y'all to be great because y'all did choose one of the best days of the year to roll it out.
Not biased.
So, May 7th or whatever. It's cute. But yes, guys, so that is a lot of information, but hopefully you feel a little bit more informed and a little bit more prepared for this upcoming change. Because again, if you are a domestic mommy or poppy, this is going to impact you.
Definitely. Those quick little trips might not be quick no more. Now just wasted a flight.
Now just got turned around at TSA. Woo, child.
I would hate that.
thoughts on the Real ID Act, Jess?
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't say excited. I'm interested to see how it is going to roll out.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see how May of next year is going to look. I know it's going to be some people who are going to get turned away. There's going to be some pieces of content of people just like going off in the airport and just like, what the heck is this? So I am very interested to see how the implementation goes.
I would encourage you, listeners of 𝗬𝗓𝒂𝒗𝒆𝒍, please send this to a friend who you know don't read, does not do their due diligence, usually has a bunch of questions for you. Send them the link to this episode.
Especially if y'all got a trip planned next summer, because do not let them ruin your time.
Okay? Because we all, like, come on now. That's the real part. That's the real part.
Look out for you.
I suppose my thoughts are, I'm always looking out for just like the workers. So my thoughts are, if you are not prepared and you show up ill prepared, don't take it out on the workers.
It's not their fault. They told you.
It's not their fault. They told you. And honestly, everybody's been talking about this for years. And to your point,
signage everywhere.
After the pandemic is really when I've seen the signage heighten.
Yes.
So I encourage you, just don't act like nobody told you, because we did.
Because we told you.
We did. We're telling you today, but also everyone's been
We said it
talking about
before.
it.
Yeah.
Hey, y'all. Hey, we know you're enjoying the episode, but we just wanted to remind you to leave us reviews.
Yes, you guys are always telling us in our DMs, messaging us, letting us know how much you love the podcast. And we're like, we love the feedback, but let's get it on paper.
Please. And of course, if you have suggestions of topics or destinations that you'd like us to cover, shoot us a DM or send us an email.
Yes. Now let's get back into the episode. Said it before. Yeah.
So yeah, we wanted to do a whole episode on it so that you could have something you can go back to and review as it rolls around, because obviously it's still several months out. But the reality of it is, it's coming.
It's happening.
It feels the most definitive in terms of the date this time around.
Yeah.
So just gear up and get your paperwork together.
Period.
Yeah. And obviously, when our travelers are traveling, we're going to make sure they're together. We're going to make sure they know what they need, all their ins and outs, so that nobody get turned away at the airport. Okay?
That's not an option.
Okay? Because if you didn't know, but now you know today, Jasmine and I are both a part of Travel Goddess International, which is a full-service travel agency that can assist with bringing your next vacation experience to life.
Yes, so whether you're traveling domestically, where you're going to need this real ID, or if you're going international, we got you. Visit travelgoddessintl.com and submit that consultation, browse those travel deals, so we'll get you sent.
Because the most important thing is to work with somebody who will work for you.
Okay.
And clearly, that's what we do. And if you're new around here, welcome. And you're welcome. It is time for the travel deal of the week. I know. So this is fun.
Different.
I know. I wanted to spice it up for the girls and the guys. So this is our travel deal of the week. You ready?
Let's go.
It's a 4-day, 3-night trip
Okay.
to Norway.
Okay.
Oslo specifically.
We talked about Oslo on a few
did.
episodes.
This is going to be mid-February. So if you go back to
Valentine's
a couple of
Day.
episodes ago, we talked about that Valentine's Day, President's Day kind of overlap, where you're able to use less PTO but get more vacation. So this is following over that. This is a Friday to Tuesday with round trip flights via IcelandAir. So your bag is included.
Very important.
Yes, coming out of BWI, which is Baltimore, Maryland, nonstop, which is the dope part.
Nonstop.
Nonstop, baby.
Hold on.
Okay, real cute.
Okay.
Staying at 4-star hotel accommodations. I really wanted to try to pronounce this, but I feel like I'm going to butcher it, but I'm going to go for it. Voksenasen Hotel.
Oh, girl, I would not have said that.
That's only because
That's
I've been
good.
there.
That's
only because I've
good.
been
That
there.
was really good.
And I know that they don't always pronounce all the same stuff.
I am very impressed with that. That was good.
I gave it a try. If it's wrong, I don't care. But nevertheless.
Ain't nobody here Norwegian, so who gonna tell us?
Somebody could be from Norway listening and to be like, that is terrible. Nevertheless, all of that for $670 a person.
That is a Euro trip for under $700 is so nice. And A romantic one at that.
And let me tell
That's
you,
so sweet.
this is around the time where I visited Norway. I visited it it was like the first week of March, but still not too far off.
How was it? The
And
weather and everything?
I was about to tell you about the weather, because scenery-wise, the fjords during that time of the year, yes, they are covered in snow, but it is beautiful. And like, I did the fjord cruise, which obviously is completely different in the summertime, because then in the summer you're looking at the beautiful green landscapes of all the trees and everything. But in the winter, it was like a Disney movie. I was like, this is gorgeous. Now, baby, it was cold. I will not sugarcoat that. Your girl was ill-prepared.
In the winter.
I was ill-prepared on the footwear. I thought I was fine with just one pair of socks. Layer the socks. Layer the
Two pair of
socks. 2 pair minimum, or even heated socks, because that was really where I felt the cold. Other than that, I was fine. But it is a absolutely beautiful city. Like Oslo, super walkable. The people so kind. The food delicious. The lattes, the coffee.
One thing
Yes,
about Europe,
I found my favorite coffee shop, and I went there every day of my trip. And I
Europe
do not
does
think
coffee.
you need. Yeah, they did fantastic. I really loved it, and that was a solo trip for me. So I was totally having an eat, pray, love moment.
Awesome.
Walking around the palace, like I just had so much fun. And I think I did 2 or 3 nights there. 3 nights there. 3 nights there. That's why I'm like, I don't think you need more than that.
Okay.
So this 4 days, 3 nights is perfect.
672. Come on.
Yeah, man. And nonstop flights.
Yeah, that's so crazy.
So,
That's crazy.
definitely given exclusive.
You
So
already know.
premium membership is required to access this amazing Valentine's Day getaway to Norway.
Yes.
And then you can flex on your friends, because I'm going to tell you right now, they ain't been there. They ain't been.
They haven't. I haven't. I'm different.
And so there's that. You can
Yes.
also click on our website, of course, to join our membership, $9 a month, to access this deal. But also, if you visit the Travel Goddess International Instagram page, you can find my story highlight from my trip to Norway. So that is there as well. Actually, is it on that page or is it on my personal? Either way, there's a highlight for it. Can't remember when I switched over, but here we are. So yeah, visit our website and go to Norway, because why not?
Come on, Oslo.
Now, do they have brunch? I don't know. I feel like yes, because they had a lot of great local cute places open in the daytime, but I can't confirm nor deny. So it's time to get brunchy regardless.
We'll find it there. So this week's brunch abroad is actually a killer option. So we're going to DC. Y'all know I love DC, the brunch capital.
Jasmine is so flip-floppy.
I know.
2 weeks ago,
New York
was the brunch capital.
All right. It's clearly DC is the staple, but New York be coming in strong. All right, you're right. It depends on the week.
It depends on the week.
This week, because this y'all gonna be on my side. Boundary Stone in DC offers free bottomless mimosas, spritz, and Bloody Marys free for an hour and a half. All you have to do is be seated by 11:07.
I'm sorry, what?
Free. All of the drinks are free.
Free?
Free bottomless. All you have to do is be seated by 11:07 and purchase a brunch entree. Come on.
I'm stuck. I can't pick my
Like,
jaw
where
up.
do they do that at?
Free?
And that's why I said DC is the brunch capital.
FREE?
Free bottomless. Not one drink. Not one mimosa is free. And you got options.
This is crazy.
Free options. Yep.
I don't understand. Like, first, what I don't understand is several things. One, Philadelphia, why? Just
Anybody
why?
want to like try?
Do we care?
No.
You don't care about us. You don't. Number 2, why haven't I been to DC more in the past year?
Seriously.
Because I'm doing
DC
my
has been
life
it.
a disservice.
Yeah.
You'll never be this young, hot, and ready.
Come on.
Ever again. Oh, and then my third thing is just, how you giving me bottomless? For free? I'm so confused.
And I'm like, well, maybe it's like crappy champagne, but they have other cocktails. So it's like, no, we are using our bar. It's not just bullcrap. So yeah, they got me. Boundary Stone, we have to go.
I am stuck. If you are listening, you can't see me. My mouth is not closed because I'm so like,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah, that's how I felt. Free
It's
brunch.
brunch abroad for me every week.
Free
every time.
bottomless is crazy.
Every time. Like every single time.
Yeah.
The girl gonna do what the girl gonna do.
We gotta go there. We have
We
to.
gotta go there. Like,
It's free.
Is
It's
it a
literally
question? Because by the time we pay for a round trip train ticket,
Literally.
that would have been when we would have thought we would have paid that brunch.
Exactly. Yep.
Oh my gosh.
Free.
Gotta go. All right. Last but not least, question of the day. Question of the day, Jasmine. What is your ultimate travel buzzkill? Like, this happens and the vibes is gone. They out the window. They done. You killed it all the way.
Like while on vacation? That's tough. What's yours?
Mine is... I'm so glad this is not my life any longer, but it used to be. Don't come if you can't afford to come. I don't want to not be able to do the things I don't want to do. I don't want to feel like you are a burden. I don't want to feel like I have to make up for this. And then I don't know if you're going to give me my money back on the back end, but I also don't want you to sit around. Just don't come. Because I won't come.
Yeah.
If it's not feasible. But like, it's okay to show up without all of the means, but I do need you to be transparent.
Be honest with yourself. Yeah.
Because what I don't want you to do is, because y'all already know, if you don't know by now, I love experiences. But more importantly, I like people to enjoy experiences when they are traveling. I know that travel is like a luxury. Like, everyone don't get to do it. So if we're going on the trip, like, let's go on the trip.
Let's do it. Yeah.
And I don't want you to sit in the room, or I don't want you to go and eat somewhere else because you can't. I don't want that for you. And now I feel like a lesser person because you're doing that on my watch. But I'm also not balling, sis.
Yeah.
So like, can we help each other?
Or I could be by myself. Like, if that was a
I just told you I'll go to Norway by myself. I would just go by myself.
Yeah.
But I don't want that, more so not because I'm calling you brokey, lotto voice. I'm more so saying I don't want you to have a lesser experience
Than me, yeah.
Yeah, because I'm excited for you to travel. Like, I want everybody to travel, clearly.
Dang. I think
So that's
mine's is similar. This is tough. Yeah, mine's would probably be that as well, but that doesn't happen very often. Like you said, I'm grateful enough to like travel with like-minded people who want similar experiences as me. What I will say is possibly, and it doesn't even have to be the people I'm with, just someone getting too drunk on vacation. And like, I get it. Like, you know, it's vacation. Like, we all want to have a good time. But like, that person who just like overdoes it, like early from the plane, like soon as we didn't even make it out the airport yet, and you at the bar, and we want to shuttle that person on the shuttle all loud, like, you know. So just that person that just overdoes vacation, I'm like, I get it, but like, you are an adult.
Yeah.
You know, you are the representation of yourself.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, that's actually my second one. Because don't embarrass me.
don't embarrass me. That's why it doesn't have to be with my group. Sometimes the secondhand embarrassment where I'm just like,
embarrassment.
this person is like doing her most.
Like,
Like
are
you
you
know,
okay?
on a plane, or like, you know, or just in the airport where I'm like, you're doing the most. And
Because
I feel you because
I
I'm
will
lit
leave
too.
you.
Yeah. I mean, luckily enough, I've never had it happen like personally, but I'm just thinking about being around those people, or like, you know,
'Cause you've
being
seen
on a
it.
property and
You've
you
seen
keep
it.
seeing that person who's just like,
Doing the most. You've seen
or
it.
you run into the girl at the excursion who is just like, girl. And then you look,
Yeah.
I just would, example, I was on a trip, girl super lit, and like, okay, she's clearly a lit girl. We're on a boat, everybody having a good time. And then we get off the boat, she's getting wheeled out in a wheelbarrow.
See?
You did too much.
When doing the most goes wrong.
Exactly.
Like,
Bring it down a notch.
a notch or 7, because you do still
That's
have
not the first time I saw somebody getting out in a wheelbarrow.
No, we saw somebody like that when we was at IcelandAir.
Yeah, people be lit. That's what I mean. That person bothers me.
Cause concerned. But then the person the next day, they was back at it. So,
that is a person. That's
and
what I'm saying.
like,
It's the littest person
wow.
on vacation. It's one person who just goes super hard.
I don't know how you do it.
You see him at the pool bar. You see him everywhere. You just like, that girl is lit. Like, at first, you're like, I want to take shots with her. Then you're like, oh, she is too turned up.
Yeah, I can't complete. I can't keep up or compete. I'm not going to try.
A bit much.
Whole lot of much.
Yes.
Nevertheless, what is your buzzkill? All right, your vacation buzzkill.
Yes.
Drop it in the comments. Let us know. Let us know if you can relate to our buzzkills or you agree, disagree. If you're the person, sorry. But we had to say it.
Go off.
Go off, all right?
Enjoy yourself.
Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the episode on YouTube and listen wherever you get your podcasts.
Yes, and follow us on Instagram and TikTok at 𝗏𝗏𝒄𝒂𝒄𝒂𝒍. Like, comment, share. We appreciate the engagement on social media. It's always exciting to open up the notifications. It makes me feel like MySpace back in the day.
MySpace is wild.
You know how you get on MySpace and it's all them notifications when you get the...
I do.
Like, that feeling. Instagram, like, social media nowadays, these kids will never know.
OMG. Well, of course, if you have a product or a service that you'd like to see featured on an upcoming episode of TFS, shoot us an email, info@travelflysexy.com.
Yes, and leave us reviews. Let us know how you're feeling about the podcast, what you like, what you don't like. If there's any particular topics that you want to hear, definitely let us know.
I think that's our episode.
Yeah, get that real ID.
Get the real ID, child. What are you waiting for? Don't wait. Because honestly, you should do it now because once we cross over in 2025, I feel like the lines at the DMV are going to be
passport in
long.
2020. Yeah.
Yeah, because everyone's going to be trying to get their real ID. So now you got the scoop early.
Get it now.
Get it now. Until next time, guys. Bye.
See ya.